Hi guys, and welcome to All About the Philippines. Today we're going to talk about how to prepare for a trip to the Philippines, and this video will be particularly handy for those people who have never been to the Philippines or are inexperienced travelers. We're going to take a look at some essential information on airlines, best times to visit the Philippines, the legal requirements to enter the Philippines, vaccination recommendations, and currency. Now, when you're traveling to the Philippines or you're going to any country overseas for that matter, you want to make sure that you've got everything that you need prior to traveling. So everything is checked and all the boxes are ticked, so to speak, so you can have a smooth time when you first land in the Philippines without any troubles. And in this video, I'm going to give you the information you need to have a trouble-free touchdown in the Philippines. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so the first thing we'll talk about is the airlines to the Philippines. So most of the major international airlines fly into Manila, and many will also fly directly into Cebu. Now, if you're looking to go to somewhere else in the Philippines where there's no direct flights, you simply just get your ticket from your country to either Manila or Cebu, and then get a flight from Cebu or Manila to your destination. Now, airfares can be the biggest expense of your vacation to the Philippines, so getting the best prices on airfares is essential. And if you leave getting your ticket for your flight to the Philippines to the last minute, so a month or so out, then you're probably going to be paying a lot more than you would have if you had booked your ticket around about 3 months prior to going to the Philippines. So that's a big tip, is to check flights around about 3 to 4 months out and make the booking 2 to 3 months out. Don't leave it any longer, or you'll be paying a lot more for your flight than the person sitting next to you. Now, the next tip is be a little bit careful around about the budget airlines. Some are very good, yes, but you've just got to be a little bit careful around the fact that some budget airlines don't include check-in luggage in their cost of the airfare. So if you want to take check-in luggage, you might have to pay an extra $50 or $60 each way on top of that budget fare that you've got. If you're a backpacker or you're just taking a backpack, then budget airlines could be ideal. You will get some good savings there, and you just take your backpack and you pop it up in the overhead compartments on the plane, and off you go. Now, to get the best prices online for flights, go to holidayescapetravel.com. That's my own comparison airfare site, and you will save money, I will guarantee you. Get your best price, then go to holidayescapetravel.com and compare, and you will be pleasantly surprised. The link to Holiday Escape Travel is in the description below. Now, when is the best time to go to the Philippines? People often ask. Well, I think any time is really a great time to travel to the Philippines, but when's the best time? Well, that's quite subjective, and you'll get many people telling you many different times to go to the Philippines. But really, what you want to be looking at is, if you can get there for Christmas, that's a great experience, enjoying the Christmas traditions of the Philippines and the festivals that go along with that at Christmas time. Now, if possible, you probably want to avoid the typhoon season. Now, typhoons are most commonly in the Philippines from June to October, although sometimes you can get typhoons there in May and November as well. But for me, I like to go to the Philippines, if possible, from February through to the end of April or early May. I find that a particularly good time of the year weather-wise, but be sure to take plenty of sunscreen because it is quite hot and humid. Now let's talk about passport and visa requirements, which are super important when you're going anywhere overseas, but also to the Philippines. Now, what you're going to need is a valid passport for at least 6 months after departure. So you've got to make sure that your passport has at least 6 months on that. If you don't have a passport, very important to get one, obviously, before you get your tickets to the Philippines. And if you come from countries such as United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, then you won't need a visa unless you're going to stay there longer than 30 days. Anything under 30 days, you do not need a visa to go into the Philippines. Now, if you're in other countries apart from the ones I've mentioned, you might want to do your own research on that to see what the conditions are around visas from your country to the Philippines. And you're also going to be required to have either a return ticket or an onward ticket out of the Philippines. And that is very important to have, because some people will go to the Philippines and think, oh, I'll just get a ticket when I want to come home. Well, that's going to cause you some issues when you get to the Philippines if you don't have a onward ticket or a return ticket. Now, for those of you that might be staying longer than the 30 days, you're going to need to get your visa. You can get that from your own country, from the Philippines embassy or consulate in whatever country you are living in. Now, the vaccine recommendations when you're going to the Philippines. Now, whether you get the vaccines or not is up to you, but it's very wise to pay attention to what sort of diseases you may be at risk of when you're in the Philippines. So the United States Centers for Disease Control recommend the following. So that's malaria vaccine, yellow fever vaccine, measles, mumps and rubella vaccine, diphtheria and tetanus, hepatitis A vaccine, hepatitis B vaccine, rabies vaccine, Japanese encephalitis vaccine, typhoid, cholera, smallpox, and polio vaccine. But go to your GP prior to travelling. So around about 3.5 months out from travelling, go to your GP and tell them you're going to the Philippines, and they will work out with you what immunisations or vaccines you're going to need when you're going to the Philippines, and it will be dependent on certain areas that you go into the Philippines as well. And also talk to your GP about malaria tablets, as malaria can be a problem in certain parts of the Philippines. And on top of this, be sure to take out very good quality and comprehensive travel insurance to protect you while you're in the Philippines. You really don't want to be going anywhere in the world, let alone the Philippines, without good travel insurance. And I always say, if you can't afford good travel insurance, then you can't really afford to be traveling. Now, the next thing is the currency. So the Philippine currency is the peso. So it's the Philippine peso. And you've got two choices there around getting some of the local currency. You can pre-order it in your own country. I know here in Australia, I can order it online and I have it within about 7 to 10 days. And I'll often order around about 8 or 9,000 pesos. That just gets me going when I get there. I like to do that to have some currency when I first get there, because I don't really want to be running around when I get there looking for a foreign exchange booth, especially if I'm there late at night, if my flight arrives late at night. And all I want to do is really get a taxi and get to the motel and probably get a bit of sleep. Now, of course, you're going to need something to put your money in. Now, in the West here, we have a wallet and we put it in our back pocket. Not advisable when you're in the Philippines. So what I advise is getting a money belt or one that straps around under your clothing, and you can put your money in that. Now, I would never be carrying large amounts of money when I'm in the Philippines anyway, but that's the safest way to carry your money. I would typically put in my pockets maybe a couple hundred pesos with coins and smaller notes, and I might have 4, 5, 6,000 pesos sitting in my money belt under my clothes, where if I needed to access that, I would go into a private area somewhere and take that money out. You do need to remember that as friendly and welcoming as the Filipino people are, it is still a country where there is a lot of poverty. So there will be some people there that will see you as a rich foreigner, and if they see you've got money on you, they might try and take that money from you one way or another. So better to play it safe and stay low key where money is concerned. Anyway, guys, hopefully we've given you guys some very good, handy and helpful information, but always do your own research as well around what you're going to need when you're going to the Philippines. But this will be a bit of a guide to get you going in the right direction to ensure that when you get to the Philippines, you'll have a hassle-free time at the start of your vacation. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share the video with anyone who may be going to the Philippines or all of your networks. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn on the notification bell to get more videos. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I appreciate all your support. Take care and bye for now.